Hi everyone. So season 27 has been, a really good season, very well received. Had a lot of fun with that, but it has been dragging on for almost 4 months now. And the question I get all the time is, when do we finally hear about season 28? When will it start? And there's a lot of speculation around that. Now, we don't have any detailed, official information about the next season, but we can speculate a little bit, and I try to give an educated guess. So first of all, we have to acknowledge that this is actually going to be most likely the longest season in history of all of Diablo 3. So that was by far, number one was season 1 with 159 days, and also by far the shortest was season 2. So I guess they basically had no clue what to do at the start, and they were trying different things or messing up the time schedules, but this is how those two things came to be. And since then, they've usually tried to stick to something like a 3 to 4 month cycle. So you see this was like 4, 4, 3, 3. Yeah, this was also like 2.5, and then a bit of 3, etc. So 3.5. Yeah, and then we don't have like the other seasons here up to season 27, but there are generally on the 4 month to 4.5 month side. So in general, in the last few years, especially, Blizzard has started slacking quite a lot with those seasons. Basically ever since COVID happened, and it has been going from like a 3-month cycle more towards a 4-month cycle. But usually that means that we get like PTR news somewhere like 2.5 months into the season or something like that. Maybe 3 months into the season, because there's usually something like around 30 to 35 days delay since like a patch announcement and PTR to the season start. And if you look at the time schedule that we have right now, we have, the season start August 26th. It's been 115 days already, and there's no PTR news whatsoever. And at this point, since we don't know anything about PTR yet, we can easily add yet another month to this, and we're probably gonna beat season 1. Wow. Who would have thought that we were gonna see that at some point? But anyway, I think something that gives us a bit of a pointer about the season duration is actually this holiday event that I have recently released. So you might have seen this. There's those holiday gifts you can grind now. You can get wings and transmogs and whatever. And they also said how long this whole thing will last, which is until February 5th, 11 a.m. PST. So this is a global end date for this event, and this is also not the typical end time for a season. So usually a season always starts in 5 p.m. local time zone, so CET or I think Pacific time, and I think Korean time. So each of those regions have their own season start times a few hours apart, and they also have their own season end times at exactly the same time, like 3 or 4 months later on a Sunday. So this February 5th is actually a Sunday, but this time does not match a typical season end time, which makes me believe that this event will actually not end with the season, but it will end before the season ends. I don't believe that this event will actually run into next season start. So for example, like season start like end of January, and then you have like a week of this event again. So that wouldn't really make any sense, I believe, because the season start is already like mega hype and everyone is blasting. And on top of this, it would also kind of like skew, the balance between people playing early in the season and late in the season and these kind of things. So yeah, realistically, the season will end, or at the very least, the next season will not start before the event ends. And this makes me believe that the season 27 will end after February 5th. And the thing is that right now, and actually for like a week or two, we have basically considered this option already. We're not going to get a PTR anymore this year. It's already the 19th of December as of the recording of this video. Christmas is, just around the corner basically this week. And there's like zero chance that they're gonna launch the PTR, on the 22nd, which is the first day. So usually it's the first day. And then just go to holidays for 2 weeks and come back and, everyone is out of office basically. So this is not happening whatsoever. I'm not exactly sure how long Blizzard is on holidays. I would expect it's going to be like 2 weeks. So until like 6th of January. And then, they're probably going to resume working on like the 9th or something like that. So yeah, around that time, but I don't know exactly how this works. But I would expect that the earliest that he could get any PTR would be on the 12th of January, maybe even the 19th of January. So I guess they're also not gonna launch it immediately when they're back in office, and maybe they're gonna take another week to prepare and, you know, make everything, you know, ready for last minute changes and these kind of things. So I believe that 19th of January is a likely start date for a PTR, which lasts 2 weeks, which is ending on the 2nd of February. And then usually you have like 1.5 weeks until the season starts. So something like 10th of February or maybe 17th of February. Like this, they could comfortably end the event like early enough so that people are done with the grind, and, you know, people have probably also like grinded up a lot more materials. There might be people that want to push with all the stuff they have gathered from those holiday gifts, etc. And they can comfortably take a really relaxed schedule and start the season somewhere here in mid-February. So I believe 17th is most likely the date. So in general, I believe we're not going to see more than one more season of Diablo 3 before Diablo 4 launches. I was actually expecting they would do 2, so we're going to get like season 28 maybe in December, and then like season 29 maybe in April or so. I was already expecting a relatively late release date in the first half of 2023 for Diablo 4, and they actually landed on June, so this would have quite easily given them time for 2 more seasons. But since they dragged out season 27 so much now, I don't really see it happening, because basically by the time that season 29 would be about to release, it's also the Diablo 4 release, so that is obviously not happening. And we're gonna get season 29 probably in August or in September or something like that, so it's gonna be even longer, and probably nothing is gonna happen anymore in Diablo 3 from that point forward. And I think they're also trying to schedule the Diablo 3 season to not collide with the Diablo 4 open beta. But we also know that the open beta for Diablo 4 is going to be relatively short. They said it's going to be at least 2 days, which, well, might or might not be more than that. And it's most likely going to be relatively close to the release. So I expect no earlier than March or even April for the open beta at this point, because of the way they pushed back this Diablo 3 season until at least February now. And there's going to be at least some time between the 2 games, I believe, because they're trying to coordinate this a little bit. And if you look at, for example, Diablo 3 open beta, that was April 20, 2012, and the release was like 3 weeks later or 4 weeks later or something like that. So this was actually very close to release. I would expect this to be a bit earlier, so they have more time to react in case they, you know, need more servers and these kind of things. So I think something like March or April is a likely candidate for Diablo 4 open beta. But in general, it's going to be relatively late from this point on. In any case, I believe that at least season 28 is going to be a really big one. So this is the season that leads into Diablo 4, even though it's going to start way too early in my book, and it's going to be way too much time between season 28 release and Diablo 4 release to really carry over the hype. If it was up to me, I would have probably just launched season 28 like December, and then season 29 like April or May, like maybe a month or so before Diablo 4, to really carry the people from Diablo 3 over into Diablo 4. But yeah, Blizzard had other plans, I guess. So this is what we're gonna get, one more season of blasting, and then we'll see what will happen to D3, I guess. And I guess everyone, or almost everyone, will be blasting D4. But since they're taking so much time to develop season 28, I also believe it's going to be a rather large season, so they're probably going to have some, really cool theme. They're probably going to have lots of quality of life updates and some other things that kind of like set Diablo 3 up for the future, basically, so that they can kind of like, slowly forget about it, I guess. I think the signs are definitely pointing in that direction, that, now it's like one more, big blast, and we'll see it from there. In any case, this is my best guess for now. So this is what we have, and I'll obviously let you know when we get any update, but we're not going to hear anything for the next weeks. At this point, I also wish all of you guys some great holidays, Happy New Year, and I'm going to be blasting still. I'm going to be making more videos about D4, I'm going to be blasting a bit of D3, so I'm going to be around, but let's see about next season. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys next time.